I'm assuming you're watching this because you may be in the market for a robot lawnmower, or perhaps you actually own the robot lawnmower that we're talking about today, or maybe you actually don't like robot lawnmowers at all and you just want to find out what negative you can about them, or maybe you're just a fan of the channel, which I appreciate as well. But today we're going to do a review on the Anthbot Genie 3000. Now, I believe this is the fourth robot lawnmower that I've reviewed, and that doesn't make me the world's foremost expert on robot lawnmowers, but at the same time, after you reviewed 4 robot lawnmowers, you probably know more than just somebody who's never owned one at all. So in this video, I want to show you the mower. Definitely want to show it in action, talk about some of the things that I like about it. I want to show you how easy it is to set up, because that was actually one of the things I really did like about this one. And I want to just talk to you about realistic expectations of robot lawnmowers, in particular this one. What can it do? What is it not going to do? How big of a yard can you handle? So let's get started right now. I want to certainly thank Anthbot for sending the mower. They gave me the mower in exchange for doing a review video, and so they have sponsored this video. Let's get going. Speaking of our subject matter, here it is, the Anthbot 3000, Genie 3000. Now, they have 3 different models, okay? Now, my understanding is the actual mower is the same on all 3, but a little bit different features. So for instance, the 3000 has a larger battery rated up to 0.89 acres. Now, I believe it'll cut more than that if your yard's bigger than that, but it's gonna have to go back and recharge itself, and we're gonna talk about that in a minute. This one also is rated to have like 30 zones, so I'm gonna talk about the mapping and how that works, because a big thing I've learned about robot lawnmowers is it has a lot to do with the app and the software, what makes them great, or in some cases not so great. But I was really impressed with this one. So let's go through the quick setup, and then we'll get some more action of it actually working. So when I open the box, one of the things I want to see when I open a box of something like this is as few parts as possible. Now, not because I don't want to have any parts, I just want the parts to already be assembled. I don't necessarily want to spend hours upon hours trying to put something together that I'm not really that familiar with. And I do appreciate this one came with a QR code that I could scan and get a video, which was great, because sometimes the reading instructions is so-so, but I found this to be very easy to put together. So let me just go over the basics of this, and most robot lawnmowers, this is going to be what you need to understand. A lot of robot lawnmowers, and let me just say, these scalp places, that's where I cut it with a 0 turn yesterday, so the robot's actually not doing that. And I want to say one other thing. You say, Jason, you just cut your grass yesterday. Yeah, they actually recommend not putting this out here on tall grass. So what I'm not going to do today is show you it cut grass that's, you know, been 3 weeks since it's been mowed, or will it mow over sticks or rocks or anything like that. That's not the purpose of it. The purpose of this is, can I have this thing run over my yard every second or third day and keep it manicured? And that's the purpose of it. So anyway, one of the things I was excited when I opened the box is that this was already assembled. I didn't do anything. I didn't put those wheels on. I didn't put that red button on the top. It came just like that. I pulled it out of the box, which was a great thing. Now, a lot of robot mowers have what they call RTK technology, and that's just basically your satellite technology. So what that means is you got to have this antenna in a fixed point, and that's what it's going to use to be able to tell where it is in the yard. So I have a creek over there. If I move the antenna, it's basing everything around that antenna. So if I move it and I had it going right up to the edge of the creek, now I may run the risk of it actually falling into the creek, because it's basing everything based on the position of the antenna. So what does it look like? Here's our charging station, and it came like that. I didn't do anything to that thing either. And then the antenna is right here. And this is what you're looking for when you put the antenna together. You're looking for the magic green light. The solid green light means I'm getting a good signal. A blinking green light means I'm getting a weak signal. So this pole came in 2 sections, snapped it together. It has a step stake. You can put it in the ground. And then the wires, you have to have electricity, obviously. So it has a very long power cord that I was able to plug into my outdoor power outlet, and then you connect all the cables. So it was very, very simple to put together, which is what I was going for. Once you get all that, you want to install the app. So I downloaded the app and the Anthbot app, and then it connects to your device on Bluetooth, and then it also connects with your Wi-Fi. So you need to be in range of that. Now, once I get it connected to the Wi-Fi, I can follow around and create a map of my yard. Now here you see on the app, it's got my device. I can rename it. I'm doing zone mowing. So that means I'm not mowing my entire property at just one zone. It tells me my battery level 55%. And you see here, here's a map I created. So the way it works when you want to create a map, you simply use your phone as like a joystick basically. It's going to have a forward and reverse and a left and a right. And you drive it around the perimeter of your yard. Now you can see this mapped area I've created, and then I created a zone over here. I can map out the entire yard and then create multiple zones, up to 30 with this particular model. Some of their other models, I think up to 20 different zones. So in this particular instance, I said don't mow the entire yard, just mow this zone right here. And I can go back, edit it, delete it, make another map, add to the map, make the new zones. You know, there's a lot of features involved with that. So much customization within this. The way that works, you can see here, I can set up a schedule for it to mow on. I can turn rain precipitation off, and let me just say I did that. I had it on, it started sprinkling, it goes back to its base. You can tell it that to wait 3 hours when it's rained. So there's all kind of things, anti-theft mode, reset your pin, you know, lots of different things. But one of the things I do is go to map management, and again, I can go in here, expand my map, add to the map, add another zone within the map. I can put no-go zones if I don't want it to go in that. Now it's gonna not run in this anyway because of the cameras and the way it functions, but if you want to make this a no-go zone, you can certainly make that a no-go zone. Maybe a better example, if I wanted to trace this out, you know, of course I'm going to trace it out before I get the flower bed, but if I had like a landscape area right out here in the middle of the yard, I could say, hey, don't go in that part, or swimming pool, you get the point. So what I want to do now is I want to hit stop on here and just talk about it a little bit more. And it's got an emergency stop there. When you power it on, you set your pin code, and it makes a noise to let you know that it's going. So let's flip it over and just show you the construction of it. Now, one of the things I noticed is on these wheels, and these are, you know, it's kind of like a plastic hubcap here. This feels like it doesn't feel rubber, it doesn't feel plastic, it kind of feels in between, just to be honest with you. Slightly rubberized plastic, I don't know what you call it. But I like this, got this tread on it, help as far as climbing hills. You'll see here it's got 5 blades on the bottom of it, and it's also designed to where it can be out in the weather. Now you see they advertise right here, quad vision. So it's got multiple cameras on it. I'm assuming 4 based on the name Quad Vision. So there's another camera, and then I'm assuming those are the 2 cameras up here on the front and 1 on the side. So where that functions is, and we'll test this out. We'll put a sports ball in front of it and see if it runs over the sports ball or if it goes around it. I already know the answer because I've already tried it, but I want to show it on video. Now the shell of this one, now this thing is fairly large. The shell is mostly plastic. Again, you flip it over, you've got these swivel front wheels, so it will make a very sharp 90-degree turn, I would say, and that's what it do when I'm mapping out the territory. I can go and make a 90-degree turn when I get to the border. So I've paused it. I can go back on the map here and restart it, and it should pick up where it left off. So once I hit the stop button, it's telling me that I have to hit the mow button, enter pin, and then I have to enter my pin, and now it's getting back to work. So let me get a sports ball and set in front of it, and we're going to see how well this 4 quad vision camera system works, and will it go around it. The other thing I want to talk about is, practically speaking, what type of yard would I recommend this for? Now, robots in general, one of the things I've noticed, like, they're not like super fast, okay? It may take it hours and hours and hours to mow my yard. I mean, my yard is gigantic, so it may take actually several days. But if you had a large yard, it can do it. The way it works, and I saw this from on 2 eyes, let me just tell you practically speaking how it worked. When I opened them out of the box, I had about 75% battery on the charge. The batteries are charged at 75%. I put it to work. When it got down to about 8%, it tells itself, hey, the battery's running low, it doesn't want it to stop or run the batteries all the way down. So it goes back, recharges itself, and then I believe the way it works is once it gets to 80%, it will then go back and resume the work to finish the job it was currently on. And then when that's over, it will go back and charge itself to 100%. And I saw that happen with my own 2Is. All right, so let's see what happens when there is an obstacle in the way. It's mowing along its path. We've got the quad vision. Let's see what happens. Slows up. Goes around and actually turns around. So I saw this before. It'll turn around, but then it'll come back until it clears this ball, and then it'll kind of fill in the gaps that it missed from getting off of its original line. So you see there, it saw the ball clearly and stopped what it was doing. So who are these robot lawnmowers for, this particular situation? Well, I'll just make a bold claim here that I think we will see more and more and more of these in people's yard, in your neighborhood. And the reason I say that is, yes, companies are making them. Yes, there's a lot more companies probably gonna be making them. But I think, honestly, they actually work pretty good. Better than you might think. And I will say that this one is something that I like, and I think I will continue to use on my own yard because of how well it performs. It mows almost perfect stripes. Does it mow better than me? Yes, it mows better than me. Now, some of you have watched me mow grass on Instagram and stuff, think I don't know how to mow grass, so whatever. I've got a 60-inch zero turn, and it goes very fast and when I'm cutting on it. So this is much slower, but I can't make stripes to the level that this is going. I can't make perfect lines. I'm not as diligent. I bottom out sometimes when I hit a low spot. This thing kind of fixes all those problems. Now, is it gonna cut every square inch of my yard? I have about 4 acres here, probably 3 acres of actual turf grass. And so I don't know that it will cut every square inch of my yard, but I think it will do a lot, even though it's rated at 0.89 acres. So if you have, I hate to use this word, but like a normal size yard, then it's plenty big enough to handle that. Because you can set up multiple zones. You can adjust the height, you know, in this zone, mow it at this height, this zone, mow it at this height. So even for me, I've got zoysia grass over here, a little fungus there for those that are interested in that, looks like. But if I want to cut the zoysia a little higher than the Bermuda, then I can do that. I just simply designate this as a separate zone, raise the height, but on the Bermuda I can do that. If I want to make a no-go zone, I can make a no-go zone. So it's just a lot of customization and have this thing automated, and there's still plenty of lawn work for me to do. I mean, I'm gonna do the trimming, the blowing, probably not as much blowing to do with this, but I could see this thing being very, very handy, and ultimately, I just like the look of a manicured lawn. So again, this is not to mulch leaves. This is not to be out there, you know, bush hogging ultra tall grass. But what it is to do is to keep a lawn manicured. Running it every 2 to 3 days is what I would probably recommend. But if you want to run it every day, you can run it every day. Now, what is it not if you're looking for expedite? It's not built like a tank. You know, this thing is not made of titanium. It's a lot of plastic parts, to be honest with you. But that's okay. You know, I think what you're getting as you pay for the increased size of the Anthbot, you know, their models, again, is bigger battery, which is more runtime, which is the capacity to do a larger yard. So one of these things in this particular situation is not designed to mow, you know, extremely steep slopes. It's not designed to mow, you know, thick grass. It's not designed to mulch leaves. That's something I've considered even in my own yard. If I got a lot of leaves and even sticks that fall in the wintertime, you know, probably gonna break out the zero turn on that. But if it's a manicured lawn without a lot of obstacles, without like crazy hills or anything like that, and you want it kept mowed all the time, and maybe as an alternative to mowing it yourself or paying somebody to do it, then I think these are actually great options. And I think that's why ultimately you'll see more and more of them, because it does make sense for a lot of people financially and time-wise. So for what it's worth, I'm impressed with this. I'm not noticing it miss spots. I've had it mowing a lot today. I'm gonna continue expanding my zones. And this would be one that honestly, when I looked it up, even on Amazon, the reviews were excellent. So the app was super simple, setup was super simple, and it's performing very well on my lawn. Is it the ultimate lawnmower for all time that can handle any circumstances ever? No, of course not. But is it a good option for people that want a manicured lawn and it's super quiet? I mean, I could run this thing all night long and early in the morning. I mean, it's not going to wake anybody up because you can barely hear when you're standing beside it. Thanks for watching the video. What I want to do is have you leave it in the comments. What do you think about this? What do you think about robot lawnmowers in general? There is a link in the description. You can go check out this particular model and some of the other models they have to offer. But if you've got questions, comments, thoughts on this, please leave it in the comments. Love to hear from you. And I really appreciate you watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.